Good morning, students. Today we are going to see inheritance, polymorphism, and abstract and encapsulation in Python programming. Already we have completed basics of class creations and object creation, right? So here first we will start with immutable object versus mutable objects. So already we have learnt the objects which cannot be changed once after creation is known as immutable objects, and the objects that can be changed after creation is known as mutable objects. And this is also applicable for classes, and we can use methods within the classes to define this immutable objects and mutable objects. So first we will see inheritance in class. So inheritance is a reusable concept which is used to inherit the basic properties of the base class, and using that basic properties a derived class can be created, and it can be included its own property. So that is known as inheritance. Object-oriented programming allows you to define a new classes from existing classes. This is called inheritance. Inheritance extends the power of the object-oriented paradigm by adding an important and powerful feature for reusing software. Suppose that you want to define classes to different shapes like triangle, rectangle, pentagon, etc. So if you take this example, in all these shapes, common one is sides. So we can define a base class with sides, and the number of sides will differ, but the common attribute side is same for all the classes. So these classes have many common features. What is the best way to design these classes to avoid redundancy and make the system easy to comprehend and maintain? So to avoid redundancy and comprehend system, then we have to use inheritance. So normally inheritance consists of superclasses and subclasses. So superclass is nothing but it can be renamed as base class, or it is a general class. Subclasses are those classes which are named as derived class, which get which retrieve the basic properties of the superclass and include its own property. So that is known as subclasses. So we will see an example for how to create a inheritance program using this program. So if you see here program, we have defined a constructor. So whatever that is preceded by this hash symbol is known as command line, right? So we have defined a constructor method, that is double underscore init underscore underscore, and then one more method to get the name of the person, and one method to get the name number of child of the person. So why I have used such a program is, so normally we can compare this inheritance to our family tree. So family tree, normally we will have grandfather, grandmother, after that parents, and after the children, right? So here I have taken a base class as a parent class, and then the derived class as the child class, so for better understanding. So if you see here, this is the base class, and here we are giving parent as the class name, and within this we are specifying object and constructor, two methods, one method to get the name, another method to get number of children. And second class, so this is the subclass, or it can be named as derived class. Here we have to pass the parent class name. So here the name of this base class is parent, so I am passing parent here, and that is represented here, and child is the name of this derived class. And this is also having one more method which is specifying the status of the child, whether married or not, right? And this is, here we are creating an object for the base class, which is the parent. So followed by parent class name, specifying the name and then number of child. Second, here I am creating the same object for the child class or the derived class with the name Geeta and 2, right? So if you see here, I will execute this program and show you the output. You can able to see how the output represents. Just copy this code. So whatever I am doing here is based on Jupyter. If you want, you can install Jupyter in your system also. Right, so already I have pasted this content here. So if I run this program, you will get the output as Gokul 7 and Geeta 2 and true. So this true specifies derived class property from this married method. Right, so that is the difference. So these are the outputs we are getting from this program. Right. So that's all about inheritance. Once again, I will just recap whatever we have explained. So inheritance consists of majorly two major classes. One, you can have one base class and many derived class. Otherwise, you can have many base class and one derived class. So based on that, we already have studied this in object-oriented programming. If you have not studied, you can just refer object-oriented programming inheritance through internet, right? So base class name parent is created, base class name parent is created, and derived class name child is created with parent passed in the argument, and we are assessing the code using the objects. So driver code is nothing but we are creating an object for a parent class and we are creating an object for the child class. So you may ask a question why we have to give the same name. You can also give different name. If you give same name, the object will be overwritten with this content. So next topic, so that's all about inheritance basic content. So next topic is overriding methods, class abstraction and encapsulation. So overriding methods is nothing but we know in inheritance we will have one base class or many base class which is used to derive the properties for derived classes. So overriding methods, whatever methods we are using in the base class, the method name will be same in the derived classes also. But the content discriminate between the methods used in derived class as well as in base class. So the name of the methods used in the inheritance concept should be same for overriding methods. So to override a method, the method must be defined in the subclass using the same header as it is in the superclass. A superclass inherits methods from a superclass. A subclass inherits methods from a superclass. Sometimes it is necessary for the subclass to modify the implementation of the method defined in the superclass. This is referred to as method overriding. So if you see this program, you can able to understand. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 classes are there. Each classes will have same class name. No number of sites, number of sites, number of sites, number of sites. So this specifies here I have used overriding concept for methods within the class, right? So that is known as overriding. So next concept here we are going to see is abstraction and encapsulation. So abstraction is nothing but it separates the class implementation from the use of a class. So implementation details will be invisible to the user. That is known as abstraction. And encapsulation is nothing but it is a fundamental concept in object-oriented programming. It describes the idea of wrapping data and method that work on the data within one unit. So class is an example of encapsulation, right? Because within class you can define variables as well as you can also use methods. So this puts restriction on accessing variables and methods directly and can prevent the accidental modification of data. So to avoid unauthorized access or to restrict the access, we can use this encapsulation method. So first we will see overriding and abstract. So abstract class can be included in Python programming by using this statement because ABC specifies abstract base class. ABC, abstract base class. So from you have to include this line to include the abstract concept in Python programming. So here we are having polygon. So polygon, triangle is a polygon, pentagon is a polygon, hexagon is a polygon, quadrilateral is also a polygon. So all this polygon is represented as superclass, all are represented as subclass, and here this method is named as abstract method because it is not going to specify anything. So just we are going to include the keyword pass so that it is not going to do anything, just it will pass it. So this method will be inherited to all other subclasses. So just I am going to run this program and show it to you. So if you see here, I have copy paste that particular program, same program, and then I am going to run this. So this will print, I have 3 sides for triangle, 4 sides for rectangles, 5 for hexagon, sorry, pentagon, and 6 for hexagon, and 7 for quadrilateral, right? So that is represented here. Quadrilateral is 4 sides, right? So once these classes are defined, we are representing the driver code. So first R is representing triangle class, and it is printing the triangle number of sides is 3. And K object is representing quadrilateral class, so number of sides. And R representing pentagon class, number of sides, hexagon class, number of sides. So quadrilateral is 4 sides. So that is what we are getting as output. So next concept is encapsulation. So encapsulation already I have specified. So we are going to protect or restrict the content for our unexpected modification and all, right? So here if you see this program, here I have one base class and one derived class which is represented base within its bracket. So don't forget, derived class should have its base class name within its bracket, right? So here I have represented a variable which is a underscore a equal to 2. So why I have represented as self dot underscore a is equal to 2? Because it is a protected member. Protected member means only the base class and the derived class which are using this base class can access this member. Other than that, we cannot able to access this variable. That is, outside the class you cannot able to access. So that is the meaning of this. So this is an example for encapsulation. So we are restricting the access only to a particular classes. So if I copy paste this program, automatically this will run. So if you see here, this is the encapsulation program. Here I have created the protected member. And if I run this, it is specifying calling protected member of base class 2. But if I remove this and print the same object outside the class, so I am creating the object for base class which is object 1, and that object dot a is accessed outside the class. So now let us see whether this particular program runs. So here I am getting the error because this line cannot be able to access the variable a. That means it is violating the restriction, right? So base object has no attribute a. So this error you will get if you access outside the class. But if you access within the class, you won't get this error, right? So these are the contents we have discussed today. If you have any doubts, kindly post me in Google Classroom. Thank you.